Hello, dads. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Sloss and Humphries on the Road Patreon episode. Unfortunately, Kai is not with us this week because he is dead. He died in a tragic fishing accident. It's going to be emotional for me to say this, but he cast behind him and the hook caught in his mouth and he threw it forwards, and because he's been working his arm strength, he just yanked it and fully threw himself into the ocean. We know this because we found the GoPro on his head and we watched the video and it's real brutal. We managed to pick him up from the bottom of the ocean because it was only 8 feet. Very embarrassing. He wasn't even that far out. He was about 20 feet from the pier, but it was dark and he's bong-eyed. So this is an episode in memorandum of him. So, of course, we've got his permanent replacement now, Ryan Cullen, stepping in to fill his very, very wet Adidas shoes.
Sloss and Humphries on the road.
Muggins and cream and muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
That's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh.
You don't read much, do you?
That's a no.
No?
There's a lot of heaviness in that.
There's no heaviness in that. It's just
that was
general
backhanded.
observation.
No, I don't.
No.
I find it boring.
I find it boring.
Look, I know that no matter what I say now, I'll come across real stupid.
Yeah, but most of our listeners are stupid, so they're probably all sitting there listening to their podcast being like, me no like book either.
I read Henry Rollins' travel diaries.
His travel diaries must be good. He's lived an interesting life.
He always usually just goes off and takes out the list of where you're not supposed to go as an American. The ones by the government, and he does them all in a year. So he just fucks off with a backpack. He's one of those cunts that goes oh, you know what? I'm going to jump on I'm going on a wee trip to Antarctica for 4 months.
He went to Cuba before it was cool.
Yeah.
Aye. What band was he in?
Black Flag.
And
the Rollins band.
Yeah, and the reason he's famous is because while in the Black Flag, he used to just beat the shit out of...
He was well known for that.
God, imagine you had that right as a comedian. Just while you're telling jokes, right, you slam someone in the front row, or somebody heckles you, and you just get to go out there and just fuck. I mean, I could never. Well, maybe I could, because my fans are all so weak.
Yeah, you could definitely kick the fuck out of nearly all your fans. You're joking?
Yeah, mostly women.
In the
I reckon a fair number of girls could give me a run for my money.
Yeah.
I've never thrown a punch in my life.
What about so you can try to say the meek little inherited.
Yeah,
that's all your fans.
Yeah,
they're all meek.
Maybe yeah. They're meek and I'm meat.
You haven't thrown
It's a beaker method. No, I don't think so. And if you can't
just
remember,
Kai's there, he does it.
Oh,
before you ever get a chance anyway, he's already done it. And you're well, that's that cleared up.
I was a fucking nightmare when we were in our 20s. I could talk about it now, but when we were, having Kai with me at all times was like having a hard older brother, but an older brother who's 10 years older than you are. There were several times when somebody was being a dick to me somewhere in Scotland, while we were on tour afterwards, when we'd go out drinking and trying to get laid and stuff. There was definitely times people were just a bit of a knob because, well, in their defence, I was a Z-list celebrity travelling around thinking he was a fucking shagger. I would have also sneered at me. But heaps of times I would just, when I would normally be the bigger man, turn the other cheek and just fucking bottle up and push it down. I'd be like, Guy.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily make him go beat them up, but I would get gobbier just with him. Times when I would go, I'm not going to say anything here because that would be, escalating the situation. Normally I'm a de-escalate kind of guy, but when fucking scummy Batman's right behind you with his fucking chav belt, here we go.
Normally I'm a de-escalate type of guy. What the fuck was that?
De-escalation, There's, it's the way if there's a confrontation either happening in front of you or happening to you, you de-escalate instead of running up emotions. It's why British police officers are better than American police officers because British police officers are trained in de-escalation unless they're in Ireland, in which case, lads, have all the fun.
But our police do not. It's usually oh, come on, lads.
Aye.
That is what you get. You
also-
need to go really out of your way to get arrested.
You've also got a different name for your fucking Opal.
yeah.
Garda.
Yeah,
The
Gardaí.
Garda. The Gardaí. Is that if there's more than
Garda
one?
Síochána. It's all Irish.
Aye.
Actually, no, I presume it just means guard. Like,
Yeah, I mean, almost
presume.
definitely. If it doesn't mean that, that's fucking insane.
I actually don't know what the
I
direct
don't
one on
even
that.
don't even do the etymology of Garda. It's safe to assume it comes from guard.
Guardians of
Yeah,
the peace.
yeah.
Kai messaged me last day going, I didn't know the tricolour, the Irish flag, was Catholics, peace, Protestant. That's what green, white, gold was.
I didn't know that.
You didn't fucking know that either. That's why the whole...
So wait, hold on. The Greens who?
the Catholics. What
And,
do you-
and why are the Protestants gold? Because they're better than you.
Well, gold, it's orange. Like we always say green, white, and gold, but it is green, white, and orange.
Right.
The flag.
But you say it's gold.
Yeah,
Well,
it is orange,
sounds like
but
living-
anybody
living
used
at
to
age.
a tryout street. That's just when I think of it. Is that just the when I think of it? Wait a minute, have I been subconsciously refused to acknowledge the Protestants in the
Not
country?
refuse. You promoted them to gold. Orange.
Yeah,
Orange.
yeah,
Donald
that's right.
Trump. Watson's boring. Gold. First place in the Olympics.
Catholics, peace, money.
And they do love. Yeah, the green's good. Greens makes sense since most Catholics live in fields. That's true.
I mean, everybody lives in fields technically.
That's not true at all.
I mean, this is a field with just
No, I mean you can.
but the
Right.
house
Okay.
is-
All right. What are cities then?
well, they're all right. All right, you got me a wee bit there.
A wee.
Concrete fields. Big concrete field. Yeah, sorry, I have to bring this up now.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
Yeah, of course you knew it was coming. Daniel, you're upset. You have a problem
I
with
don't,
shoes?
I don't have a problem with shoes. I have a problem with.
They're buying too many pairs of shoes.
No,
now.
I-
You've went absolutely mental in the space of like. It started when you discovered how to buy clothes online. Now,
Oh, the
I had-
ASOS. Yeah. When
we
I
had-
discovered online shopping, I
Yeah.
was like, hold on. Because I hate shopping so much. Because I hate being in a shop. I hate having to pick stuff out. I hate having to fucking queue up to do
the
it.
timing.
And I hate people being like, can I help you? No.
Just
And
wanna
also,
sit down.
do you have any questions? I've got heaps of questions, but no questions I'm comfortable asking you. Being like, what would I look nice in? I'll just.
Yeah, you cannot do that. You cannot.
But that's what the ladies are there for in some
yeah.
of the shops. Like,
Ah,
they're there
yeah,
to
yeah.
be like, they're not necessarily personal stylists, but they can be honest and be like, I think you'd look good in that. I think you look good. But I can't ask that
I
question.
reckon, end of in Bruges.
I've just-
Immediately, principal have to shoot myself in the
Deep
head.
down, I just have to hope that one day Cara signs me up for Queer Eye.
Oh man, you know what? I have fantasized about what they
Wouldn't
would
it be
do.
great?
Yeah, it would be great. I've watched the episodes and I go, you know what? This would be pretty good.
It would be such a good thing to happen to you. Like, you know,
I mean, you'd have to only take that 1 minute of abuse at the start. They're like, look, you're 32, you loser. And I'm like, I know, that's why I'm...
yeah. You're just holding my
Help me, queers.
That was the original name of the show. Help me queer.
Help me, queers.
And it was like big Extreme Makeover Home Edition, like when they used to be like, bus driver, move that bus. They had to say on the catchphrase for the show.
I never watched
Help
that.
me. Did you not? Oh man,
I only
Extreme
know it from It's
Makeover
Always
Home
Sunny.
Edition
Yeah.
I loved it because it was just, I think I loved it when I was in my teenagers. Like, this is before the internet was properly around. You weren't just on YouTube. There was just, you had to try and find exciting television shows. And that was like how you saw how crazy Americans were.
Well, the first one of those, okay.
Because it was like not on. It's just such an American show
Yeah.
in the sense that one, every building could have survived if they just built houses out of stone.
Yeah.
Like an entire country that regularly just ignores.
Tornadoes.
Yeah, tornadoes, hurricanes, storms, floods. They're like wood.
Yeah.
Wood every time. They've never read The Three Little Pigs.
Yeah.
That's not a story over there. So like when house fires, people are fucking idiots. Cars crash into them. They take your entire building down with them. It's
Yeah, if we were burning bricks in the fireplace, I'd be like, we shouldn't build a house out of it.
yeah.
That's my...
Like, whereas in the UK, houses are made out of brick. So like if a storm comes, yeah, there'll be damage, but it's still there. A flood could come through and you'd be like, the basement's wet. Like if the building catches fire, they can still rebuild they're not rebuilding the building, they're just doing the roof. So they've got all these buildings that just fucking get fucked up because none of them know how to build houses. Two, because it's a fucking fucked up country. They're like, all the insurance is like, technically here you didn't sign this, so that means you're not liable. In America, they have the Act of God law, which is like your insurance isn't covered if we're like, oh, God did it. So,
but like that's just.
But
That's like
also,
a lawyer could argue that way.
yeah,
right?
yeah. But also, but that's
God-fearing country.
But that's part of it. Whatever.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
that bit, I'm like, that's what you fucking get.
Yeah.
For being, that's what you absolutely fucking get for not reading your constitution, not reading your history, understanding that your country is not a Christian country. It should not be a Christian country. The whole point of the I don't know where in the Constitution it is or whether it's the Declaration of Independence, but I don't know. I think it's the Constitution. The Declaration was the letter to the Brits being like, fucking, this is ours now. But it is like this. It's free for all religions and it's not identified by one. So the fact that they're like, God destroyed your house, like, this is so unfair. And I'm like, well, stop.
Aye.
Stop all believing in God then.
Aye.
Like, this is, have a real education system, like, tax the fucking churches. Otherwise, they're going to keep fucking you over. And from this point of view, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, it's got the stage now. You've had your, like, how have you not learned?
You've had 350 fucking years, lads. Pull your fingers out. Come on. You went to the fucking moon. How are you still praying?
Yeah.
Like, you checked. You got on a rocket ship and flew through heaven. Literally through it. You saw nothing. There was no angels. There was no God. You went above. You saw the entire fucking planet. You confirmed it was a sphere. Not enough. You went to the fucking moon and be like, nobody ever thought we could fucking do. Dear Lord, our Savior up. It's just, how did that happen?
Imagine they were lying and they did find heaven and that was the proof that they never went to the moons in the first place.
What do you mean? Like they went up to it?
They went up, there was heaven, there was books all sitting up in the clouds, right? And they were like, I don't know how we missed this. And then you found out that's when you know, like NASA, like, it's like, you fucking lied, you didn't go to the moon.
Oh, they're like, we had to fake it because we were a good.
Like, if NASA was just there for the money, imagine if NASA came to you and goes, man, we've never even reached the clouds. That's mental when you think about it. Could leave you all.
Yeah, like, how do you think we get up there? What, fire facing downwards? Listen to yourself.
Yeah, big childish rocket.
yeah. Just a really big firework. Hello, we're NASA. We're the smartest minds in the country. What we'll do is we'll just put a lot of men in deep diving suits into a big firework and send them to the moon. These fucking mugs. Honestly, get me Studio 67. We'll get a fucking stick so the flag looks like it's waving in the. That's always the one that the people who don't believe in the moon landing, they're like, how was the flag? If there's no atmosphere, how's the flag upright? How's that? And you're like, you don't think the smartest minds in the entire world, when putting a flag onto the ship, were like, none of us see any problems here, guys. And they put a chain in there so it stayed.
Yeah. I presume they would. Just my instant thing is they have that covered.
Aye.
You know.
It's like that old fucking email that used to get passed around. I think it's like a meme now, which is like the Americans, the American geniuses at NASA spent $1 million, building, prototyping, perfecting, designing a biro pen that could write in zero gravity. There wasn't all this, right? Whereas the Russians just used a pencil. And it was always meant to be like a joke, being like, how fucking dumb are these fucking cunts? You go, no. The reason you can't use a pencil on a rocket ship is because it's graphite. And if that breaks off and there's just us there, that gets between wires. That's why all Russian spaceships explode.
Yeah.
Like, think of...
Pencils.
Yeah, pencils. Yeah. And also, I think it was NASA that, not necessarily accidentally invented the biro, but I think, like, they invented it to go up into space, and then the rest of the world was like, all right, well, we want that now.
The standard biro.
Maybe not standard biro, but I think like the ballpoint.
Okay, yeah.
I think like the ballpoint pen. I think maybe. Have I pulled that out of my arse?
I don't even know how ballpoint pens work. It's just a ball rolling across thing.
Do you think we went to the moon?
It's not
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
It's not true. I made that up. I pulled it right out of my arse today. Okay.
You should have
That does
done
sound
that.
like me.
That would have flown.
Yeah.
That would have flown.
God, see, it's mad that now that we have the internet, like, disinformation's more powerful.
Yeah.
Like when you're and
Too much information, huh?
Because back in the day, like if I just told you that story, you would then in the course of the next 5 years maybe told that story anywhere between 2 and 10 times.
2 and 10,000.
Yeah. So here's an interesting fact: Russia with the pencils, and then that would spread, and that's probably how all the fucking old rumors started.
Aye.
Eat carrots so you can see in the dark. That was actually.
I'm
intelligence.
actually the opposite. I don't believe in. I believe if you believe in any conspiracy theory, like no matter what,
Aye.
even if it's fully actually believable, I'll immediately be on the other side going, "You're an idiot."
Ballpoint pen was invented for space. It just wasn't funded by NASA. But
Do you have your microphone on? Are you being an idiot?
Yeah, it's got the mic.
Okay.
It was invented for space. It was just funded by the Fisher Pen Company, not by NASA. But it was invented for space.
There you go. See? So what I did was I kind of remembered the fact and then made it more interesting. Welcome to all of my stand-up shows.
Fisher is a Nazi. Did you know that?
Paul Fisher.
Is he?
I don't know. I'm pulling that one out.
Because he was at
Do you know,
that. I was like,
I
hold
did
on.
have somewhere I was going for that. All our pens in Ireland and books were, I don't know if it's an Irish thing, were called Fallon, Fallon. Just like your copybooks or whatever were all Fallon. He was a Nazi.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy
then
Fallon's dad.
Jimmy Fallon's dad's a
Jimmy
fucking
Fallon's dad.
full-blown Nazi. He's not even half arsing it.
Nah. He's,
Real into it.
he's got a back swastika.
Aye.
Yeah. To match his front one.
Aye. Well, that's it. Yeah, you fucked up shoes though. That was where.
Oh yeah, that's where
I forgot about that.
So
Thank God
I
got
tried
that
to
back
distract
on.
you so I didn't get fucking thrown down.
You keep buying shoes is basically what it is. You're really obsessed with it. And today another one came, another box came, and I go, "Oh, there's another pair of shoes," and you were like, "Yeah," and I go, "Oh, it's like a Holocaust museum in there." That's it. I was chatting to you about you had a pink rim on this one. as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
Couldn't
yeah,
help
on my-
me
on my,
extremely homophobic from the off.
My brown mocha Jordans.
Look what you're saying. My brown mocha Jordans.
Just
Yeah,
it was written on the thing.
Nobody calls them brown. You don't call them that.
I don't call them that. So no, I went on ASOS and then I started buying shoes from there, and then I was buying like sneakers, and then they look good on the website. And they come in, I'm like, oh, they're actually a bit naff. And then occasionally I just have to remind myself, I am fucking loaded.
This is me. I was called Cullen Two Shoes for ages because I had two pairs of shoes. So yeah.
You and Cara are part of my most favourite bit, but a bit that does not belong in the public, so because it doesn't make me come across well. My favourite bit to do around the house, because I know how much it annoys you and Cara, is to just be anything that's like grossly arrogant with money.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the worst way for someone to be. That's what I find the most humour in. But Kat, it fucking sets Kat off like something else. Like, she'll be like, "Oh, I just got I got £5,000 back from my tax or work or whatever," and I'm just like, "Oh, cool, congratulations." And is that a lot of money for people like you?
aye.
How many weeks will that last?
And I'll never back you on it.
Because it's so horrible.
I'm straight out of Cara like, what's he fucking said? I would tune in halfway through it, and you'd be like, "Oh," or you throw money for not having a minor. And I go, if we won't have this problem if you just ring them and let them know, and you're just like, "I'll pay someone 10 grand to make the phone call, so I don't make that £100 back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, if you could offer me 100 grand, and in order to get that 100 grand, I had to phone someone and fill out a form. Absolutely, keep the fucking money.
You have a serious problem with just general forms or ringing anyone. Like, I better ring the bank there just to let them know that. You're like, "No, I'm not going to do that."
If it's someone else's fuck up and it's somebody else's problem, why should I give up my time during the fucking day to phone up the bank and be like, "You fucked me again"? The other day,
you've done that many times. You fucked me.
No.
Bank of Scotland.
Cara always laughs because before I get on the phone call to the bank, I'm giving it Billy fucking Big Bob's. I'm gonna give this fucking
Oh,
woman
no, that's
a
right.
piece of my fucking mind, because I'm fucking sick of them claiming that I've got this happening. None of this is fucking true. Hi, sorry to bother you. My name is Daniel Sloss. There just seems to be a minor problem with. No. I can be on hold.
Yeah.
When this bitch comes fucking back, I swear to. Yes, no, I am. Sorry, I was just talking to my fiance.
Yeah. Is it because you don't want to talk to them? Because you probably, if you do end up talking to them, you're going to end up like inviting them to the wedding. Because Daniel, anytime there's like a fucking delivery driver or an Uber thing, you'd be like, "Oh, let's become best mates."
So Cara wants Cara and me. This is one of the times in our relationship where we had two different dreams. She was like, not a small wedding, but she wanted like a normal size wedding. I'm like, let's just have a massive one. She's like, who are we gonna invite? I'm just like, who gives it? Just people. Who cares? Like, it's a big party. I'm paying for it. It's fun. And She won't let me invite. She won't let me invite David Schwimmer.
Won't let you invite David Schwimmer.
She won't let me invite David Schwimmer, even though he's very nice to us.
Yeah.
She won't let me invite. I mean, there are heaps of people when she's like, not them. I'm like, I get what you're saying.
It's because but that's the whole wedding thing, isn't it? You open one gate and like, you have to let that person in.
No, I disagree.
Everyone's got their spider. Like
this is why. This is why I say to fucking Cara. Like she's like, well, do you think these people will be upset if they're only invited to the evening and not the day ceremony?
Fuck them.
And I'm like, if I have any friends who are like that and they show any of that emotion on the outwards, we'll never talk to them again because I can't imagine a lesser human being turning up to someone's fucking wedding, regardless of what
I wasn't down at the reception.
Whatever bit of the fucking wedding they invited you to, they invited you along. And you're like, was I not there for the full thing? Get out of the fucking full thing. Even people that
you should be happy about that, if anything.
Yeah. Or people that go, why was I not invited? But fuck you, motherfucker. You don't know how big our wedding was. You don't know. Yeah. Like, I've got very close friends who've had weddings that I didn't go to. At no point was I like, well, somebody's going to be moving down my people's 16. I can tell you that for free.
It's actually them that's valuing or devaluing or putting a value on it rather than saying, yeah, fuck that. That's annoying.
Bunch of fucking wankers. The other horrible money one I did the other day, just so I can get this all out of my system. This is like confession for me. I feel if I, admit that I do these things, I'm allowed to do them forever. Because the first part of fixing the problem is acknowledging the problem, and then that's it.
Okay.
And then you don't have to do anything else. You just acknowledge that you're aware of the flaw you have in your own characteristics,
and it's done.
And then it's done.
As long as you're aware.
Done. Yeah. As long as you're aware. Tell people I'm a cunt and then you be a cunt.
They really do that. They really push that in therapy.
Yeah. Well, they did in the first lesson. Apparently there's 7 steps, but fucking I got a good memory. I got to pick it all up in that first lesson.
Thank you, vindicated. Don't even say bye, just escape on the Zoom.
See you next time. Sure.
Yeah.
Some fucking TV show was on the other day, and the grand prize was 100 grand. I walked past the screen and went to Cara. I went, 100 grand? That's not even the price of a car.
Oh, that's right. You've made me mad. You fucking.
It's such a. It makes me laugh so much.
Do you know what? Do you know what is funny? Remember how bad the prize and the weakest link used to be always?
Oh, was it? Yeah, was it not? Was it not like 5 grand?
Not even like some 5 grand would be you would be doing well. I know it was on every day and shit, but like sometimes you look in, you're playing now and you're all this, and he's like, you're playing for £1,200, and I'm like, fuck, how much money are you making in this show?
Yeah. Well, I don't know because it was daytime TV, and I reckon Anne Robinson's was taking. Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Aye. Is she one of yours?
She fuck.
Wasn't her name like Anne Robinson? Aye.
That's Tory.
Fair enough. It was just the ginger and dourness.
She is alive.
I thought you were going to say she is.
78.
78.
Oh well.
I think she'll live a while. She doesn't.
She has that fucking.
I don't think she's ever touched a fucking cigarette. Yeah, she's just she's
Judge Judy of.
She's going to live another 42 years because she votes Tory, and that's what Tory voters do. You just outlive everyone else. I'm gonna keep
it's all
things
about,
the way
it's all about stealing resources in her.
We were talking to a friend of ours a couple of days ago, and they have a child in school, and they were telling us that at a meeting at school, the teachers revealed that 1 in 5 first years were having sex.
Oh, it's just fucking hell. Is that
What
the
old are
teacher
first
going?
years?
Teacher going?
11 or 12? 11 or 12 years old.
I thought that was just the teacher going like, it's me fucking all of them.
I confess. You know what? Send me to jail. I've done them all.
Yeah.
Jobs.
Yeah. Too late. Nothing you can do to me now. I've lived my wildest. No, please no.
Just the pedo version of that possum that snuck into the bakery.
That's right. It'd be great if they're like, you know what they did to rapists in jail, and he's like, oh, that's right, thank God. Like, we can't. I don't know how to punish this guy.
1 in 5.
That's so fucked.
20 fucking %. I hate to sound like a granddad here, but where were my blowjobs in high school?
I can't tell, right, if I was completely oblivious or a massive virgin. I was. Or thing, but I would have presumed nobody in the entire secondary school. Maybe one badass got a hand job.
Well, yeah, but you're Catholic, and yours was actual Catholic school.
Oh yeah.
How many times a day did they make you pray?
You know what? That kind of stuff was gone, like maybe twice.
Twice a day.
Pretty sure twice used to, but they kind of got rid of the pray thing. There was that whole separation of church and state, but what happened was it was like the most half-hour separation, which was, we won't force it on you. You did have religion class, but our religion teacher was...
And was the religious class just Christianity?
Most of the time, they did try and give you the bog
Was
standard.
there any other times they were like, you'll never guess what these fucking Buddhists think,
Well,
man. These fucking...
that would be great.
These fucking baldies, man. Oh, chrome domes.
They believe in happiness.
Finding happiness while on the planet and then being reincarnated later on. God loves you, but is very embarrassed by everything you've ever done, and you've let him down.
The thing is, the religion teachers were never good teachers. The religion teachers, right, so this is like a Donegal kind of thing, an Ireland thing, where you would get a job as a teacher if you're on like the GAA board. Like, you know, it's like
GAA,
so like the Gaelic football. If you so for example, if you were like one of the board members in that, they were kind of like the county council, like, we'll just get you a job as a teacher as well to prop up the money to have you a full-time job. So then weren't allowed to do any of the serious subjects. So religion wouldn't have been, like, for example, my religion teacher was actually an ex under 16s Ireland manager who was going to be like taking care of all the football. So like, oh, good. Well, then we to put up your pay package. Why don't you teach religion? He was just like, he had no care. Like, he used to threaten to crucify us
in
for
that
a
religious class being like, any of these young lads going to be future footballers.
Exactly.
Can I treat them like shit?
He was great.
We
watched the Lion King.
He
used to threaten.
Threaten to
He
crucify.
threatened to crucify. You'd point at this like crucifix he'd have. And
Man, that's not why Jesus is on the cross in the room. He's not there to threaten.
Exactly,
That's not. You're like, I'll
nail
this
you
is
to
what
this.
happened to the last kid who didn't bring his homework in on time.
That's exactly. That's exactly to the fucking T. And then we just put on the Lion King. He just put on the Lion King. Like, we watched it about 7 times in religion.
Aye, that was always the best part of school. Whenever it was the teacher was clearly having troubles at home, and they would just wheel that TV in. You're like, fuck.
I told you this. I think the cunt's dead anyway. But like my old fucking like English teacher when I was like 13, 14 used to like, this is the creepiest thing in the world. I only figured out when I was like 20 years old. I would like kind of look back and went, whoa, that could have made a documentary out of it. He used to make us watch. We watched it like 3 times. He was like, it'll help you with understanding. It had nothing to do with English class. The film was called Unfaithful.
Unfaithful.
It's a Richard Gere and Diane Lane. And it's just like a film with 19 sex scenes in it.
Really?
That was all that was in it. It was Diane Lane getting ploughed in by a French.
So wait. Did this Christian school put on Unfaithful without what? Did they just put it on because it was called Unfaithful? And they're like, this will be something to do with religion, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He was definitely.
Oh, he knew.
I know. Oh, he knew. Like, for example, this same guy grabbed my. He's been here a long time. He was there a long time. He must have been 65 when I was fucking in school. I remember he grabbed my aunt's ass and she knocked him out. I remember that one in like the fucking 80s, 70s.
Just a fucking parents teachers night.
Yeah, fucking. No, my aunt was in school. That's like he taught my aunt in school when my aunt was in school.
So in school he grabbed your ass.
My
God.
Yeah, not on the future, not the parent teacher.
Oh, buddy, wow.
Yeah, we had loads of them. Yeah. So like you used to get like yeah. So I can tell only like 20 years ago, that was so fucked. That was just Diane Lane being pumped in a hall. I remember that so well, but I must have been about 13 watching this. He was just like, no, we're going to watch this again. Okay, kids. So he was staring out at us watching sex scenes.
There was a girl from my high school who I had sexual relations with later on in life. She didn't fuck me in high school because nobody fucked me in high school. That's not true. I think I got laid in 6th year, but I wasn't. Anyway.
You were doing comedy then?
Yeah. Well, I was.
I know.
I was. So I was suddenly had just a different swagger to me because I'm like, well, fuck, I've been in the 5-3 press.
Yeah. Sit down, teacher. I'll take this.
I need the fucking stage time. She was telling me that while in high school, she'd gone out drinking and ended up banging the PE teacher.
Oh,
yes. She was like underage drinking in the bar, and the PE teacher was there, and he definitely knew. He was like a younger teacher.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I mean, it's still not
when
it's still definitely some sort of crime.
our PE teacher was a younger woman,
Oh, aye.
and she was pretty good looking, and everybody just freaked out for like 6 years.
Yeah, it's very awkward. Like, I can't imagine how fucking bad it is at Catholic school. Like, when there was one attractive teacher, like one at least one that the boys fancied.
Yeah.
She took our registration. God, none of us were ever late.
We had two. We had one that just wore makeup, and immediately we called her Malibu Barbie, and she got so much abuse, right? And like just for wearing makeup. And then we had a guy that all the girls loved, and he was a history teacher. But I mean, when I think back, they were really starved because this guy just looked like Damien Duff. It was just like you wouldn't go, fuck, there's Damien Duff. Let me bang the hoop off that. Like it's not that's not a thing.
So was anyone getting laid in your school?
There was a situation. I remember two teachers.
Two teachers were shagging?
Lesbian, and they both got canned.
They both got beheaded.
Oh my god! They got sleeping with the fishes.
Well, that's what they call 69. I'm so sorry to our LGBT listeners.
Gossip. They got. I think they were like, we can't have lesbian, because we always had like a priest wander around. We had a chaplain dude, and the place used to be run by nuns, and the nuns still own the school, but they're not allowed. They're not really allowed anymore to be in with the kids and fucking like teach them or
okay,
because they used to be they would just be like, no, I'm teaching maths, and you're like, you just and then they just
the only book you've read is the Bible.
Priests were fine. They just did the odd rape. But it was the nuns were the actual ones that necked the fuck.
They were like the little fucking mafia, the henchmen.
You know, like you were watching Dairy Girls now, like that old woman, but actually violent.
Because I mean, I definitely had sex in high school, but that was like 6th year. That was like when we all started like drinking.
You were still 17 or so, 16, 17?
16, 17, yeah. It was like that was in the time when we were having like house parties. So you were actually like outside of school mingling with the opposite sex. We were going like drinking down on the beach and stuff. And we'd bang then. Or that's when you get talking. Well, yeah, I think so. But fucking like 3rd and 4th year.
You're saying though, you were saying first year, so that's 12. 13
11,
max
12,
11, 12.
11 oh god, yeah, that's
13 at the end of the year.
That's insane.
I think,
as a parent I would freak out. I think I would freak out if my kid was having sex at 12. Like absolutely freak out.
Yeah.
I'd like arrest that child. That child's
arrest
10.
that pedo fuck. That's sick, twisted. Sorry, he's crying, but you fucking bet. I've watched Pedo Hunters. This is how they always turn on the waterworks at this point. Don't phone his mum. It's disgusting that he even still lives with that. 12 does seem a bit, not a bit, way too young. Even if it's with someone of their own age, you're like, guys, there's way too much. You don't have the emotional maturity to deal with this.
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't think I had the.
Yeah, it was fucking emotional maturity.
Yeah, I think you have to be emotionally mature, like to not necessarily while having sex. You don't have to be like, well, thank you very much. Not both of you being like, I fully consent to this party and I fully consent to let's
ring the consent bell.
Yeah, like not like, and is this enjoyable for you and you enjoying this and we all fine. It was none of that. But you have to understand the consequences of it. You have to understand that you're not just doing it to. I don't know if I'm just like basing this off of like episodes of Skins. I vaguely remember.
Aye.
But you don't want them to having sex with each other just because they think it'll make them cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does make them cool. That is the thing, and I'm not saying I think it's cool. I'm just telling you, teenagers think.
Yeah.
If you're in high school and somebody else is having sex, they're the only one doing the thing. You're not doing the thing. That is.
See, Skins was the one that when it came out, everybody was like, "Wow, fucking hell, this is so realistic of you." And I watched it always at the time now, but I've never done any of this.
Yeah.
Mine's was the In-Betweeners. That was accurate. Like the In-Betweeners is pretty accurate. Dairy Girls is accurate. That was not Skins. They were all fucking having a great time.
Yeah, no, it was fucking cool. Cause were they not doing like pills when they were in the hospital?
Yeah.
They're always doing shrooms and fingering each other and fucking.
No, I dare.
Good music. What's that about?
I discovered weed in high school, booze and stuff, but no, it was never fucking.
I discovered weed till I was 30. Basically.
Yeah.
You're
sorry about that. Yeah. Whoopsie, passed it on, but then also kept it all for myself.
A lot of people in my year did poppy seeds or opium before one of his exams,
Oh, really?
and he passed.
Fucking hell.
Someone, when I was 12, sold me speed, and I was completely didn't want to buy speed, right? And it was, this is speed, but it was a guy that used to be my neighbour, and I was like, I didn't ask for drugs, and he was just like, you're going to buy this off me for a fiver. And I was like, I don't have a fiver, and he was just like, fuck's sake.
Fine.
Let
me watch you do it and chase you home.
And it was a little sandwich bag, and it was all red, right? Red stuff, like chipped. And I was just like, and then he was selling it to me in his garage, which was red with like.
I don't think
chipped walls.
speed can't be red.
No.
Because that's the colour of the stop sign and the traffic lights. So that doesn't make any sense.
Basically, he was
Purely from
selling
the
it
market's
by the
perspective.
wall where he clearly chipped it off the wall, the wood. So he was just like, "You want some of this?" And I go, "I can see the scrape. It's on there. It's on like the the thing you scrape the wall with." I was like, "It's there. I know what you're selling me." You want me snort your paint off your garage, you mad cunt, for a fiver?
You want to buy this little bag of pills there? I watched you pick the chewing gum from underneath that table and put them into small shapes. Buy the bag or I'll stab you.
Oh, he didn't even know what it was, what speed was. I was like, what does it do? Oh, it makes you go quick.
We once, when I was still high school time, me and my mate Ali's, both Ali's, Fife was dry from weed, so occasionally you just get a message from your dealer in Fife being like, Fife's dry, and it just means like there's, this is before the amazing time that exists now, where like you could just message someone and be like, can you send me a pound of marijuana to my house? And they're like, would you like next day delivery? And you're like, yes, please. And then the postman hands it to you. That's where we are. That's where we're at with drugs now. What a time to be fucking alive. Whereas back then, you had to know a guy, and you had to go around to his fucking house, and his house fucking stank, and he would keep you there for ages. I mean, that's the thing.
I've never had
Pineapple
to do any of
Express,
that.
Pineapple Express nailed it so well of how much the drug dealers want to
Wanted
be
you
your
to
friend.
be-
Oh
yeah,
God,
yeah,
man.
yeah, it's so good.
You're just like,
I'm
give
just
me
gonna-
the fucking bag so I can
smoke
fucking
this
go-
myself?
Yeah, so I can smoke this with my friends. Oh, so occasionally they'd be like, Fife's dry. And then, like, Big Ali, fucking idiot, would always be like, "Oh, I know a guy in Edinburgh." He's like, "You don't know, we're from Fife. Nobody in Edinburgh will talk to us."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We're in high school in Fife.
Yeah.
Edinburgh's the city across the water. You're
A
fucking
clear
insane.
divide.
I passed my driving test. He's like, "I've got this fucking guy in Edinburgh." So at like 10 at night, like I think my parents are in bed. I'm allowed to drive the car, but I also don't want my parents to be like, "Where are you driving to at 10 p.m.?" So snuck out, took the car, drove through to Edinburgh, stopped down across from the fucking playhouse. Big Ali got out, bought 2 bags of this fucking stuff for like 20 quid each, I think it was. And then all the way back, he's like, "I don't think this is weed." And I'm looking at him like, it's. What do you mean you don't think it's weed? He's like, "I don't know, it just doesn't smell like weed." And he puts it, and this is before any of us have tried cooking before. Now I can tell you straight off if you give it back, right? He sold us oregano. It's like literal, and 2 fucking pouches of oregano. I think there was like some like marijuana seeds in there as well, because I remember getting back, I'd just be like trying to pick out the seeds. In fact, Big Ali like picking out the seeds, being like, maybe if we get all these bits. And I think it was Little Ali. It was like, lads, we just have to.
Yeah,
We have to admit it over. It's also we're kids. There's other ways to get drunk or fucked up. We used to do do you ever do the gas chamber?
No, I heard of this.
Gas chambers where you do I think it's like
Was
you
it
get
nods?
you get sambuca and you light the sambuca and then you put the pint glass over the top and then that does something. And obviously your friend who was telling you to do it would tell you all the science of it, and then you put a straw underneath and you suck the air from that and it would give you a head rush. I think it was just carbon.
It's basically just poppers, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. And you also, how like hyperventilating just gives you like,
Yeah.
you oxidize your blood, you get a fucking buzzy head.
Yeah. I heard
But
of it.
I was not shagging at 11, 12. Like, I don't
not
even
at
think
all.
I could have spoken to a girl.
I didn't even go to my prom.
No?
I couldn't be fucked. My mum's like, I thought it was tonight, and I go, it is, so I couldn't be fucked.
We didn't.
He's like, are you scared to ask people? And I go, no, it's far away.
I went to my, we didn't call it prom, we just called it our leavers.
It was called, everywhere else in Ireland, it's called the Debs.
The Debs?
Yeah, and we call it prom, and
Why?
everybody goes, "Oh, you bunch." So everybody's like, "You fucking British Tory cunts."
Aye.
Essentially, if we call it prom, we used to get rinsed for it because we use a lot of beside Northern Ireland terms. But yeah, Debs, don't know.
No idea what it's short for.
No. Debutante ball, maybe? I felt like I was so excited to go, maybe that's what it is.
I was just trying to, because in my head, you said the word debutant, and then I suddenly realised, I'm like, I don't think I know what the word debutant means. I know debut, it means first.
Isn't a debutant ball what Americans call it sometimes?
Is
That's
it?
what. Type in debutant ball. If I just made that completely, because it's very fuck, I hit that with some confidence.
You did.
If now you're like, it doesn't even exist, I was like,
The debutant ball, sometimes called a coming out party.
Oh, well.
I've been at many debutant balls.
I've heard of a gender reveal, but not a sexuality reveal. Which, to be fair,
say bender reveal. I was about to go, gee, that's where I thought you were setting up.
Well, to be fair, if you were to do a sexuality reveal, you don't need to do one because I know what sexuality you are. No straight guy standing there with one black balloon. Straight.
To show the girls in their glory and grace, it's very confusing. One sec. I'll try and read more, just talk.
Right.
Figure out what it is.
So yeah, you're saying there's girls here involved, so I suppose girls can come out too. What am I talking about?
Oh man, you've got it in my head now. Sexuality reveal.
A sexuality reveal.
Like that's where maybe we should allow gays that. Like the if we allow fucking straight couples to do a gender reveals, right? If you want to, because you know how like when every time a gay comes out, people are always like, we always knew he was gay. Like, oh, whoa, what a surprise. And it wasn't until I was speaking to gay friends, they're like, we get why people do that, but that's also like a bit shitty because you're just, just because everyone else knows your sexuality, coming to terms with your own one is your own process. And people just be like, we already knew, kind of takes away from your journey, which is a very gay way of looking at it.
already fucking knew.
Yeah, it is that. It is. Hey guys, I've been struggling with who I am for several years now, and I'm actually this thing that I know is looked down on by a lot of society, and I finally have the courage to tell you all that I am that. We knew that, you fucking Jesse.
No surprises here.
Yeah. Do you not understand? That's why people have been yelling that word at you.
It's to demonstrate the etiquette of young girls. I think it's like back when women were like,
oh, a debutant ball. Like, wow, this is their first time being a lady.
yeah.
Oh well, there you go. I mean, like you could be. They wear dresses.
I want to go back to the gays having a sexuality reveal party.
So are you trying to say sexuality reveal party? Do you mean you have to do it?
No. You don't
have to do it when you turn 18.
You don't have to, but we'd all give them a time limit.
You have to
you
time
can't
it,
do
and
that.
then like, I'm still unsure. Like,
Well,
you've had years.
Yeah, if you are giving them a time limit, it can't be 18 because, like, I think like
Too much happening.
Yeah, but first of all, you've hit fucking puberty at 13. Like, you need at least a decade.
I reckon.
But I do think
14, and you have to stick to it.
14. 14.
You're not
Flip a coin.
legally. You get arrested if you try and change it.
What age is Philip Schofield? 4 years before he came out. That's the line.
Oh yeah.
Aye. There is
But you didn't give that enough time limit to the person he was banging.
But you know how like so there was that I think that couple in South America who like fucking ruined a waterfall by putting blue fucking ink into it for their gender reveal thing, right? And obviously everyone else is kicking off rightly, and I do think they're being charged with environmental damage by the police and whatnot. But like if that's allowed to be like a regular thing, or that type of thing is allowed to be a regular thing, why not? Fireworks with glitter in them, trying to think of what I've realised I've done is I've come to a bit where we can riff, but everything is just going to be stereotypes, and now there's nothing.
Yeah.
If Craig Hill was here, God, I'd get away with it.
Yeah.
He'd be joining in anything he said. It'd be fine because people would be like, "Well, Craig knows this is absolutely fine," but
we're going to slice.
You're bald. You do an impression of Craig.
Oh no! I don't know. Oh. Craig's good for knowing every brilliant food place in every city in the world.
Oh God, yeah.
I met him in Nottingham, and he was like, "No, you need to go to this, or this." And I go, "How long have you been in Nottingham to know all the places?"
He's very good at. I think he's just got friends everywhere, and he always asks for their recommendations. And then whenever he goes to a good place, because he just assumes, because he knows the place is good, he's like, well, you must know other good places. And then he just saves them all onto his I think he saves it on his Google Maps.
Jeez.
Somehow it's like these are the pins of all the places and just shares it with everyone. Ronnie Cheng does that as well. If you ever go to Melbourne, right, and if you want to know what there is to do at Melbourne at any fucking time for food, Ronnie Chang has a spreadsheet, which is like breakfast, lunch, dinner,
That's so sad,
evening.
but great.
Oh man, Ronnie's a little bit autistic.
Yeah. That's sad, but unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh god.
Like, I'm glad you did it, but Jesus.
Do you want to finish roasting me on my sneakers so that I can roast you on something else?
Yeah. I don't really have much else to say, bar the fact that
Well,
you keep buying them.
I have
How
to-
many pairs of runners do you have now?
Oh man.
Ballpark it.
20.
Yeah, 20.
Aye.
20.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody's going to fucking, like, do you know how many people...
I'm working on fashion from the bottom up. So if I start there, then I'll start buying.
taking your time at the bottom, eh?
Aye.
Covering all angles.
And people will be able to go and find on previous podcasts me saying the words, if I ever get into sneakers, beat my fucking head in with a shovel.
Yeah, okay.
So,
okay.
but hey, you've got to live your life as a hypocrite, because how else do you grow?
Fucking you did this earlier to me.
It's true though, isn't it?
It is sad.
It is. It's a little nug of wisdom.
Who is it? Just you? You putting that out?
I'm
Are
just
you putting that out there for a Tumblr quote with your name on it?
Tumblr. Tumblr's dead. They'll bring it back.
Yeah, bring back Tumblr.
You have got to be the most unnatural golfer.
Oh, yeah.
ever seen. We went out for a game, Hugh, me, and
That's
Gareth.
me. That's me working on it.
Yeah, hey, don't get me wrong. Like you're decent. You're as good at golf as me and Gareth, essentially. Like, you know, every week a different one of us wins. We're all pretty fucking even. But you penguin-footed, cack-handed, worm-backed, like it looks so arthritic.
Someone says it looks painful.
Yeah, like it's
looks painful.
But none of it's natural. Like everything's bent that shouldn't be bent. Like
Like a wave.
like a badly made Connects human being.
So I've been trying to do the back part, especially. The feet I'm terrible with.
Aye.
It's so wrong to me to have my
to
feet
have feet in a straight line.
I'm just always standing there going like, why is this? This is wrong.
So is your natural gait of your feet
No,
just
it's not like
fucking
that.
big penguin waddle?
Bow-legged. No, I'm not even. You know, like people have that.
Aye.
Thierry Henry. You know?
I'm trying to think. Like I'm not great at any sports. I used to be okay at football when I was younger, but I don't think I've ever been as naturally ungifted at anything.
Yeah.
It's like just in the sense of appearance. Like when we went to we had a golf lesson, and the guy giving his lessons looked at us take a couple of swings, and to me he was like, "You're okay. You get in your head a lot, and there's plenty of bits to fix here, but you've got the basics down. You've got good movement, and you've got decent." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's good to know." And then he was like, "And you."
He genuinely looked perturbed.
Just like he was like, "What even are you doing in this sport? Shouldn't you be in like a fucking OR room getting your spina bifida fixed?"
Aye. They really do have that, like, because
You play golf like a slinky.
yes, yes, yeah, inflatable arm feelings.
Aye.
Sometimes follow the club.
But you know what? You'll hit it fucking straight occasionally. See, this is maybe why I've gotten into sneakers, because I've gotten into golf. I'm like, fuck. Maybe it's a midlife crisis within me.
Yeah.
Because I can feel myself getting older. Because like Cara pointed out the other day, I'm not just grey. They are. Apparently, I'm getting grey.
Oh, yeah, up top.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even though, like, I can, I don't know about you, but like, there's levels to my understanding of myself. I'm like, here's how I think I feel. Here's how I actually feel if I really think about it. And here's how I probably really feel, but I'll only work this out 5 weeks later after I felt that emotion.
Yeah.
I think I'm fine about getting older because, like, I lived my 20s. I had a very good 20s. I did everything that you could hope to do in your 20s. And I desperately needed to slow down.
Right.
If I'd done that for another decade, I can't look like Kai, man.
In fairness, though, remember, I was about to actually say this, because remember you were like, all of a sudden, that like things you'd be like, no, I've had my fun now, I'm going to bed.
Yep.
And I'd still be like, I'm now changing too, because I can't do it as much. Kai's a freak, you see. I used to always be bad because I'd always end up with Kai at 8 a.m. and it'd be the two of us in wall sometimes and playing something stupid, and I'd be like, what a waste of time. And
well, it was bad. It was bad. It was always toxic masculinity that kept you up, and also FOMO, and also the cocaine.
Yeah.
But yeah. I remember the first time because I was one of the early ones that started going to bed. I'm like, I'm done. People are like, you feel like fucking pussy. And I'm like, yeah, fine. Like I would much rather be called a pussy.
Usually works.
Guys, what do we do?
You went to bed. He did it.
Does anyone have a shepherd's crook? We can yank him back into the room.
Lock the door and all.
Aye. Like I value sleep more than my friends' opinions now.
I don't value sleep, but I just can't. I can't do it anymore. Whatever, physically, I just can't do it as much as I used to. But Kai still.
Oh no,
hanging.
he
He's
can't
just
do it. Guy's arsehole leaks blood every other fucking day.
Still there though, leaking.
Aye, but thank God human beings don't like give off a fucking engine noise like cars do. Because I think they did. Like guys would be, and there would be times in the night when it would just stop, and Natalie would have to shove her finger up his arse, twist it, restart the engine. That's why his arse is bleeding. What?
It's like in The Godfather. Every morning he wakes up, the blood in the sheets.
I've not seen The Godfather.
Yeah, it's a fucking good reference, and you fucked it.
Oh, I got the reference. I've seen that reference in pop culture thing. So
okay, well that's all right. Well, I'll let you. Well, see, Kai didn't watch The Godfather, and I made him watch it. He loved it.
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely all the old movies that when people make you watch them, you go, I can see why this is big, except for Top Gun.
Yo, sorry, I was with you on that one. Remember, we were like, well, we better watch Top Gun. The new one's kind of coming out, and we both hated it. I genuinely watched it, but this is fucking gash. And then I went to watch the new one, and I reckon if you love Top Gun, it was brilliant because they didn't change it. They made it equally as stupid and cheesy, but updated the flight stuff in the plane, which was unbelievable.
Yeah, but I don't want the cheesiness for the old one. I didn't like the cheesiness.
Oh,
of the old one.
same. I just couldn't do it.
Here's a question for you. Did you watch, did we discuss this on the last podcast? Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Like 4 podcasts ago?
Oh, did we?
A little bit. Like
Right, with him?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
well then let's not go through the exact same fucking conversation again.
I'm going to go watch Smile. You don't watch horror films?
I do not watch horror films.
And no, I know, we'll shut up. Fucking Cara.
Oh, yeah.
And her fucking Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah.
That's as annoying as your fucking, like, oh, it's a couple, just buy another one.
Yeah.
That's at a much higher scale than that. What do we do with this cup? Cara, for films she hasn't seen or before watches it, reads the entire synopsis in plotline on Wikipedia. Completely destroys it beforehand.
Because
she tried to frame it like, in case there's a dog dies. That's not true, but she did say that.
She will not watch it. If an animal dies in a movie, she'll stop watching it then and there, turn it off and be like, I'm not interested. You can always just tell me the animal dies. You don't have to show me an animal death.
We watched Hocus Pocus yesterday. And try to pretend.
You fucking trigger warning to my fiance.
And we try to pretend that it was for Caelan's benefit, but obviously he's not registering any of it, so we put on Hocus Pocus there. And it was fine. Like I remember it from years ago, but I did remember.
Like just to let you know, Cara, there's going to be a scene in this where it looks like the cat dies, but the cat does not die. That's not what happens. Cara, while watching movies, like if she feels it's too slow, will go onto Wikipedia and find the ending of it just so she doesn't.
She's already checked read. She goes, "Oh, Smile looks good." And I go, "Aye, the trailer's good." She goes, "Not read it all."
It fucking infuriates him to do it. Well, I mean, I'm used to it now. Like I'm just like, you know what? Fair enough. I've got my things. She does it with horror movies. She'll do it like I'll be like, "Have you seen this movie?" And she'll be like, "No, but it sounds shit." And I'm like, "We could have watched it together. What are you doing?" Like I had to when I wanted her to watch The Prestige, I was like, if you Google this movie before we watch The Prestige,
yeah, fuck off.
Like I'm gonna have to throw you down a river.
You've immediately cut everything by 80%.
It's
we tried to watch a horror film once because we had horror film Tuesdays where you were doing something.
I was doing that was during lockdown. It was when I was doing the fucking D&D with Gareth and CMB.
That's what it was. We were like, we'll use this opportunity to watch a horror film because Daniel can't watch horror films. He'll get nightmares. Genuinely.
No, it's not nightmare. I just don't like. What if that is true? Like when I went to see, first time I ever fucking went to see Paranormal Activity. fucking ghosts are not allowed to exist during the day. Like that. That fucked me up. During the day, that's illegal.
Yeah, that's
why,
not
their jurisdiction.
I used to think that's why Midsummer's so good.
Yeah,
you ever watch Midsummer?
No.
Midsummer is like entirely during the day,
Fuck.
like midday. The whole thing is out in fields and bright air, and I'm like, that's really hard to do because usually you're just darkness, blah blah blah.
It was like that bit in Paranormal Activity where like they set up the camera in the room and you see like the fucking creepy footprints walking through the flour that they've put on the ground to catch it on camera, and then it just sort of like flicks the like bottom of the duvet off of her foot, and you're like, well, fuck you for that nightmare, because already anytime my foot is out of the fucking duvet, I think I'm going to be fucking like now at now at 32 I'm beyond that. Now at 32, you know, I can happily say I'm at an age where I can sleep with my foot dangling out the bed and no part of my brain
Very
goes,
brave.
but monsters, right? But
monsters,
I didn't get to that stage until I was like 27 or 28. Man, it just feels weird. You don't trust it, but you know, but. If that bit flicks out, they add to that fucking nightmare, and then it just fucking drags the cunt out of the bed. I remember being in the cinema, I was on a date, and I think I shrieked louder than she did. She still kissed me afterwards, but I didn't see her again.
Okay, yeah.
That guy.
She's like, I can get out of here.
Aye. She's like, I feel like this will be his first kiss.
I used to get, when I was a kid, I got freaked out about I got freaked out about two films. I used to watch The Exorcist all the time. It was so funny. Like, all the old horror films were really funny. Damien, good film, Omen or whatever. And then I was like going on for the kids. I was watching all sorts of fucking shit, all horror. And then I freaked out at 13 at Scream. That's not even a scary one. Like, Scream's a fucking slasher. It's I watched Scream and I was like, I'm petrified of this. Oh. But it was just a dude in a mask. I couldn't figure out why Scream fucked me up, but
it's a lot more real because like it's just an actual guy that's killing.
Maybe that's where it was.
Less supernatural. He's just
as a kid, because I used to like.
But you'd rather be fucking stabbed than shot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you weren't watching the movie, being like, God, my dream.
Oh, my dream.
Yeah, just like with your little diary drawing pictures of the Scream mask.
You need to dream out. You need to bleed out. You like if you cut your head off with a fucking thing straight, like slice your head off your sword. No, that counts as like being shot.
Yeah. Beheaded. Man, I would only want to be beheaded if it was like guillotine beheaded.
Mind you.
I don't want fucking...
Yeah, I don't want the Kenneth Bigley either.
I don't want ISIS, Al-Qaeda on camera. None of that.
Because I saw that. That's what I'm on about, Kenneth Bigley. I watched that video.
I remember being young.
That was horrific.
I remember being young, and there was like, my friend always went to the site Rotten, and that had like really obviously awful fucking... Remember, it was banned in the early days of the internet, where you just got to see like the early videos of people being shot or hit by cars or buildings falling on them. And I remember at that, I was like, I don't think I like this stuff. And then like the Al-Qaeda videos came out, and friends were passing the links around at school, and I'm like, never need to see it. Never need to know what that looks like.
Don't.
Under any fucking circumstance. No curiosity. No thank you. Nope.
It did stick with me. Bigley's.
I'll fucking bet.
You can hear it go through the windpipe and stuff, and you're just like, I remember it stuck with me, and I went, why'd I watch that? And then I don't watch any of... Who the fuck was it recently? It was showing something in backstage. It was like, I was in Belfast, and I can't remember. Something horrific happened at the gym. Everybody just kept going like, oh. And like, what about your time? I'm like, I'm not watching that because it will haunt me forever.
I did watch that video of that guy getting eaten by the shark, and
I did watch that too. That felt like a bit different, even though it was horrific.
Aye. Well, just because it was like actually seeing a shark.
Yeah, that was
action.
Yeah.
But I mean, that sticks with me. I've got one in my head. I remember
that stuck with me a bit too.
I remember watching it when I was 14, and it's still in my fucking head. There's like this wall that's made from like two metal posts, and like the walls is just like a 2x4 but of brick. 2x4 of brick.
This is the video, I think. The one the guy kicks it through. And it squashes it.
Oh, that plays in my head once a fucking day.
So I didn't
watched
watch
that
it.
video once when I was...
It was like apparently one of the first YouTube... So this is the exact... They moved on from that video. They were like, remember that one in the thing? And they were doing it, and I refused to watch. So I know exactly what you're talking about because they just described it to me. Somebody kicks the thing and it slaps out and flaps straight away or something.
It's just that... Man, there's no way he didn't lose all of that. Like,
yeah, it's gone, yeah. Yeah, you can't... I'll put it together.
I look forward to explaining the internet to like Cullen when he's old enough. I'm like, what was it like in the
Fuck's
early
the
days?
internet,
And I'm
yeah.
like, the most popular website on the internet was a collection of pictures of cats where the joke was the cats couldn't spell properly and they all wanted cheeseburgers. And that was it. And that website made millions, but millions and millions of pounds. And there was also a website where there was a picture of a race car, and it was called Try Not to Laugh, and it was what is now the Crazy Frog theme tune. And it was just, oh God, back in the days of, what was that fucking website that, like one of the first ever websites that had any comedy content on it. It was like, it had, what?
iFunny?
iFunny? No, it was pre-iFunny. Like, it was, put it this way, the
Before
biggest thing on
Funny
it
or
was,
Die.
and this shows you how old it was. The biggest thing on it was the Backstreet Boys Are Gay song. Have you heard that? When I was 13 years old, it was the funniest. Because it's to the tune of "You Are," then I don't know the words.
Aye.
That one. And it's me and Kai were talking about in the last podcast. It's the lowest form of comedy.
I want
which
it
is-
that way.
Yeah, I want it that way. Thank you. The lowest form of comedy is just taking a song and then putting comedy words on the top.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
was that, but I was 12
Yeah.
years old and like this is
I
This is
know
it.
what I want to do.
this is yeah. I don't think I was ever tempted to do musical comedy. I could never have.
I'm sometimes jealous of it. I'm like, God, this is fucking easy.
Aye. Well, it depends. Like, I couldn't do a Bill Bailey or Bo Burnham.
Obviously,
but like,
there's good examples. I mean, like generally on the whole, I mean, like you go, me musical comedians are funny, and I'm like, I could name you three I like, and they're unbelievable. But
I couldn't find it.
no worries, someone will say. We're gonna have to wrap this up pretty quickly because I have to fuck off to Ayr, and I thought Ayr was like an hour away.
that's what you told me.
Yeah, it turns out I was lying. Turns
You-
out it's like an hour and 50 minutes away.
Oh right, shit. So
Yeah.
it's an actual journey.
It's an actual fucking journey. Not only is it further away than I expected, it's not Daniel Sloss and Friends. And I told you yesterday, I was like, we'll do the podcast and then you're coming to the fucking show with me because you're on. Okay. I really should listen to either my fiance or my agent. But, you know.
Both women.
That would be a perfect time for like an old school 70s sitcom just closing on there. And that's all, folks. And we, why not end on sexism? Thank you very much for listening to the Patreon episode. Thank you to Baldy for joining me. You got anything coming up?
No, mostly just shows. Find it on Twitter and Instagram. Podcast.
See you next time, fuckers.